Oh, Battlefield, where to even start with this review? I personally have played every Battlefield game since Bad Company 2, including several playtests, alphas, and betas. So no, I'm not a Battlefield noob, and I'm not a blueberry. No offense to blueberries. We all were a blueberry at one moment in our lives. There's nothing wrong with it. Now, without further ado, we here at 59 Gaming Direct present to you our review for Battlefield 2042. Battlefield 2042 has had an interesting road since it was announced. It started off with an amazing trailer that was actually very positive, followed by its gameplay trailer, which got even more players hyped. Heck, once Portal was shown, it looked like it was a done deal. This was going to be the Battlefield game. However, once the beta dropped, things started to go south. A combo of leaked alpha gameplay and official beta gameplay showed what state the game was in. Even though many developers and heads told us the beta was 2 months old, we had all heard that excuse, air quotes, with other games in the past. Heck, 2042 was starting to look a lot like Battlefield 5 with a last-minute month delay, and that game had an iffy beta as well. Before the beta, it was announced that EA was going all in by delaying other games and bringing a total of 4 development teams to get 2042 across the finish line. As it got closer to release, trailers for things like Specialists, which were already dividing the community due to the beta, were shown in more detail, which turned into worries, anger rants from some, defenders on the other side. It was a complete mess. With about 2 weeks before the game's release, more Portal details started showing up, and players started to feel at ease a little bit since they would be able to make their own servers, get rid of Specialists if they wanted to, and much more. Then, early access hits. Let's mix things up a bit here today and start off with how the game runs. This game came out on last gen, current gen, and PC. I myself played this game on a PC using an i9 10900K, 32 gigabytes of RAM, and an EVGA 1080 for the Win Edition. If you played the beta of this game, then you probably experienced a lot of different bugs, glitches, flickering on consoles, and so much more. So how are things now? Well, it's mixed. Bugs and glitches seem to be fixed, not all mind you, but a decent amount from the beta. I have not heard any horror stories from console players about the flickering, so that seems to be pretty good. However, once we get over to optimization, that is where things start to fall apart. No matter what you do in terms of changing settings, things either will stay the same and they're low optimization, or they just simply get worse. On top of that, servers are not really able to handle the number of players at 128. New bugs keep appearing almost daily. Commands for things like reviving are either not working or getting bugged by simple things like walls on a map, and the list just keeps going on and on. Expect this to keep going for months into the future. As for how it looks when it's actually working, the game actually looks very pretty. Regardless of how the maps actually play, which we'll get into later in gameplay and everything, the way that they look, can't deny, they do look pretty nice. I can easily see this game looking amazing and having better optimization, higher frames, and so on in about 6 to 8 months. But that's in the future. Overall, the presentation slash graphics slash optimization are just, they're hit or miss. And there's a lot of work that needs to be done. When it was announced, it looked like 2042 was going to ignore a campaign and focus 100% on multiplayer, which, in my opinion, was the correct move. This would mean they could put all that money and development time into making the multiplayer even better. 2042 has 3 main modes: All-Out Warfare, which is Conquest and Breakthrough, Hazard Zone, which is a brand new mode, and finally, Portal. Let's start with All-Out Warfare. This is the game's main mode for multiplayer. Simply hit the play button and you're thrown into a match with others. No server browser, just straight into the action. You can pick between Conquest and Breakthrough, which is basically Rush from older games but with points instead of the MCOMs. You can also select to only play against bots instead of humans if you want to practice with guns and vehicles, which I actually do recommend. Normal Conquest, FYI, has not been affected by any of this. Conquest is a mixed batch personally due to the classes changing, the number of players, and the map layouts. Speaking of maps, there are 7 maps included in the base game, and they are huge. Easily some of the biggest in the franchise. However, bigger does not always mean better. A decent amount of these maps suffer from too much empty space between areas and just simply do not flow well. Now, I am not the first to bring this up and certainly will not be the last, but we have to mention the tons and tons of missing features from past installments that are not in this game for some reason. Proper scoreboards, separate controls for helicopters and jets, no voice chat, leaning behind cover is gone, destruction, which is absolutely abysmal, damage info on vehicles when you hit them with weapons to see what kind of damage you're actually doing, some sort of factions to properly show who's on which team, changing squads, impossible, squad spawn screen, and so much more are just not even in this game. Heck, half the time this doesn't even look like Battlefield. Is this a new IP game? Like, it seriously looks like that sometimes. And yes, I know these can all be added via an update, but they're not here now on release. And even though this is not confirmed, specialists are probably also a way to bring in new players that enjoy all of those popular hero shooters like Warzone, Overwatch, Apex, etc. And of course, to most likely sell skins and other monetization and microtransactions in the future. On to Hazard Zone. This mode, when announced, was looking to be a mix of Escape from Tarkov with the craziness of battle royales. After playing this mode for a few hours, it's clear that this is where the hero characters are meant to shine. And a lot of development time went into this. They work here actually pretty well. That being said, it still needs some improvements if it plans to stay relevant for the time going. Getting into a match can take a long time. I personally waited over 10 minutes twice on separate matches just to get in. There's too many AI opponents in my personal opinion. Voice chat needs to be added for a mode like this, and if it's not even in Warzone, then what the heck is going on here? And another one personally that I saw is the game credits. They're pointless to get because they don't do anything for you unless you continue to play this game mode. I would not be surprised if this is where most of that development time went. The 3 years that they were given, this seems to be the main thing that they are focusing on, and they must have shifted halfway through to get into the multiplayer, which is why they brought on 4 different teams. Again, total theory here, but it would not surprise me if we see an article in the future that states this is what happened or something similar in that nature. Now, onto the final mode and easily the best part. I saved the best for last. Portal. Portal is a custom game server where you can make servers, changing rules, adding things and taking things out, and heck, even bringing in weapons and classes and more from 1942, Bad Company 2, and Battlefield 3. You can even combine things from these older games and the current stuff in 2042. When you find a server, it's actually really fun. It's a blend of nostalgia and some of the new stuff as well, because there are some good things here in 2042. Just, again, most people are removing the specialists because they don't work. They're not good. With the logic editor as well that they introduced, I would not be surprised if we get to see some amazing servers in the next upcoming months. First, unfortunately, we just have to get past all the XP farming servers, which, let's be honest, it was going to happen from the start. Like, everyone knew this was going to happen. It always does. My hope for Portal is that it'll be updated with new maps, content, and heck, maybe even some other stuff from other games like weapons, modes, and more. We already know the main game will be getting updated with DLC and such, so hopefully Portal 2 as well. Assuming this game does not go the way of Battlefield 5 and they don't stop their support after a short time. Let's talk about the gameplay. Well, overall, in my personal opinion, the gameplay actually feels good. The movement system feels good as well when you're not lagging in the servers and rubber banding. And while small features like laying in your back while prone from Battlefield 5 are not in the game, which I do believe they said they don't plan on adding back, but again, they could change their mind on that. Overall, it's pretty good. Guns, however, are hit and miss at the same time. Guns feel good to fire, but the combo of the crazy bloom, attachments not really changing anything, and terrible hitboxes make for some bad times. Sorry, but can we go back on bloom just for 1 second? Just for 1 second. Come a little closer. Come a little closer. Why in the world is this so crazy in this game? The bloom. Oh my gosh, DICE, what the heck? I personally did not like Battlefield 5, but the gunplay in that game was amazing, actually. I know you can't have guns laser beaming across the maps or anything, but come on. Why is there RNG and our gun mechanics in a first-person shooter? That's what bloom is. It's basically RNG. Vehicles, as much as I love them, need to be toned down a bit. Helis and jets need separate controls, and things like lock-ons for alerts need to be improved. Also, RPGs need a bit of a buff against ground vehicles. It takes way too many rockets to even damage a vehicle halfway. Again, maybe this is all due to the hitboxes, the servers, and so on, but until we see some improvements, we'll have to wait and see. Bottom line, gameplay, while fun, still needs a lot of work. Other things mentioned above in design also fall into here, so I'm not going to repeat myself on those. Okay, with all the technical stuff out of the way, all the gameplay, design, you name it, what are my overall personal thoughts? Most of you probably think that I absolutely hate this game and want it to burn into the ground. Actually, that's not the case so much. I actually find the game fun when it's completely working. It honestly reminds me of Battlefield 4. Yes, I went through the entire Battlefield 4 scenario where it was really bad at launch and it took a long time to get better. And now look at it. Battlefield 4 is considered one of the best games in the series. But the big question is, should you buy this game right now? I just cannot suggest anyone buy this until it's fixed in hopefully 6 to 8 months, if they keep their promise with the updates. I've been telling people on stream that you can try it out for 10 hours on Xbox Game Pass, or buy EA Play for $5 for 1 month and then try it out for 10 hours. You're not barred from any of the content. Try it out if you want to. But there is one thing clear, and I really hate to say this. The main DICE team is not the team that we knew back in the day, which I know might seem obvious because people move on to different projects and everything, but I don't think that they can make a fully polished Battlefield game anymore, or one that the fans truly want. I really hate saying that, but it's been so long since we've had a game. There is absolutely a good game in here. It's just buried underneath a lot of stuff, and I mean a lot. Well, I think that's it. I think I've rambled on long enough. Let us know your thoughts below in the comments. Are you going to pick this game up? Are you going to wait? Or are you just going to skip it all together? But as of right now, I cannot recommend it. And that's why personally, I'm going to give this game a 5 out of 10. Sub if you liked the video and hit the notification bell to keep up to date on all of our videos going forward. Hope you enjoyed the review. Again, let us know your thoughts below in the comments. I've been Tallen with Five Night Gaming Direct, and we'll see you in the next one. Johnny.